The way people behave and communicate online is very different from how those exact same people behave and talk in the real world. And one of the issues we're just beginning to come to terms with is that very often we can't tell the difference between a real person and an online persona. And one of the reasons that that's getting more complicated is because the internet is full of fake accounts. It's full of bots. Now, these numbers come from multiple audits of Twitter. 48 million Twitter accounts are bots. Now, Twitter recently has tried to purge some of its worst bots, its worst offenders. But the problem is this is not a localized infection that can be quarantined. It can't be hacked off like a diseased limb. This is a sickness that is circulating in the bloodstream of social media. Bots are so deeply integrated throughout the Twitter ecosystem that it is impossible to get rid of them. There's no means to do so, no reliable method, and there's no financial incentive for Twitter either because Twitter's market value depends on the size of its user base. So the company killing off 15% of its own site is not going to make its own shareholders happy. Now that means bots are here to stay on all social media platforms. There are plenty of bots that aren't malicious, and the influence of these automated accounts is growing with every passing day. Now, for example, this is from an audit of Donald Trump's Twitter account, which reveals that almost half of his followers are not real people. That sounds bad, but 35% of President Obama's followers were similarly fake, and up to 59% of Pope Francis's followers appear to be fake. So it's actually quite common for celebrities to have a sizable following made up of fake accounts. Now, what's uncommon, however, is that Donald Trump also has a significant number of followers who appear to be human, who present themselves as human, who have human profile pictures, who have the strong, distinctive personalities of human beings. They have networks of friends, and to the casual observer, they look like genuine, real, authentic people. But it turns out that a sizable number of these followers are actually secret bots. And this is important because there's a difference between accounts that are openly automated, that have been designed to be programs, and accounts that are deliberately working to deceive people. When bots are tweeting and retweeting and seeding hashtags, driving political debate, hijacking conversations and dialogues, and making certain news go viral, what they're doing is manipulating the public. And this is one very clear way that democracies are being hacked across the world. Not only is public discourse being hacked by bots, but the influencer economy we are engaged with has also been undermined. Now, this article is a New York Times expose on the business of buying fake followers, buying fans on social media's black market. Now, I'll send you the full PDF, which I hope you'll read on your own time because it's fascinating. But in the meantime, have a look at how much it costs to buy fake followers online today. You can buy 5 million YouTube views for a video for $20,000. You can buy 100,000 Twitter followers for $1,000 or $200, somewhere in between there. You can buy dislikes, you can buy views, you can buy comments, you can buy Spotify streams, SoundCloud listens, spam, retweets, anything. It's all for sale. And what you're buying is largely the bad seeds of the chatbot revolution. Bots today are driving the majority of internet traffic. This percentage of 52% is only going to increase as we continually fill the online world with more automated software. Humanity is destined to be a minority on the internet. As smart programs and bots proliferate, the online environment is going to be dominated less by celebrities in the spotlight and more by those who control and deploy bot armies from the shadows. Now that brings us to botnets. Botnets represent the most advanced weaponization of this technology. A botnet is a collection of automated accounts that are controlled by a single user. It's like a clone army that obeys the orders of a single ruler with a remote control. Now, I think my favorite example of a botnet is the Star Wars botnet that was discovered on Twitter in 2013. Researchers stumbled over 350,000 Twitter accounts that initially appeared to be humans obsessed with the Star Wars movies, the Star Wars franchise. But every single one of these accounts was actually created entirely by one person on a Windows phone. All these accounts were just sitting there on Twitter, dormant, and no one could figure out their purpose. Why were they made? What were they for? No one actually could tell. But if someone deployed these bots with a clear intent, 350,000 automated social media accounts can trigger all sorts of mayhem. So here's a great example of this from just a few months ago. This past Christmas season, a very carefully programmed botnet went on Amazon and Best Buy's websites and in an unprecedented effort purchased all of the popular Christmas toys that were available for sale. So the moment a certain group of in-demand Christmas toys were released for sale to the public, this botnet, which was christened the Grinch bots, purchased Amazon's entire inventory and then successfully resold those same toys on eBay at much higher prices. Now, for example, I wanted to buy one of these Nintendo NES Classic consoles, which were available in theory for $70. But when I went online a day after they were released, none were available. They appeared to be all sold out. And that's because the Grinch bots had been programmed to buy up every single one of them. Then this botnet resold those consoles on eBay for up to $13,000 each. So the price of this item went from $70 to $13,000. Now that's genius and mean and pure greed encompassed in one botnet campaign. And it's also an example of how botnets can evade security protocols. They used software to corner a market, and they made a ton of money off of unsuspecting people. Now the thing is, whoever was operating this scheme did nothing illegal. There are no laws about botnets buying up products. Amazon was not prepared for this kind of concerted, well-executed campaign. All they could do was just watch and marvel after the fact, and then worry about the implications about the whole episode. Now that's a significant and important point. None of us are equipped right now to deal with how this technology is being leveraged against populations, how this technology has been weaponized. We're going to continually encounter situations like the 2016 election in the United States where something happens, and then after the fact we're left trying to decipher what exactly just happened.